Hello my loves and welcome back to The Library is Open, so I hope you brought your library cards, my darlings. This is going to be one of the only times that you see my face in this vlog. What? Are you crazy? Well, possibly. But this is a little bit of a very special video, if you will, in response to a request I received a while ago about making a vlog of my week in reading. So what follows is 7 days in my book reading, booktube, whatever, anything to do with literature or book sniffing that I've got up to. So come spend the week with me. Okay, hope you enjoy. Mwah. So this is Tuesday. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK, and I am in my good place. That sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it? But that means my little reading nook, if you will, although to be fair it's less of a nook and more just of a couch with aesthetic pretensions. This is my little blanket that I always put over myself when I read. It's interesting, I always like to be covered, which is a strange thing to say, but what I mean by that is, like, I like to have my legs and feet covered and stuff. I don't know why, but it must be a comfort thing from childhood. Like, apparently, when I was a kid, I used to, and I still do this, always have a cushion on my lap like this. I don't know why, just to sort of clutch to me like a pearl clutch or something. But yeah, so here I am, and if you're wondering why this is Tuesday and not Monday, it is because I can't ever start anything on quote-unquote time, as it were. It would have made more sense to start on a Sunday, but who wants to make sense? I'm going to be gesturing with my hands. So I'm reading this today, Ace, What Asexuality Reveals About Desire, Society and the Meaning of Sex by Angela Chen. I've just kind of started, so I'm on, what is it, page 13? And what I really like about this is, although it is a serious sort of, serious kind of study of asexuality and ace identities, it is written kind of in terms of the author's particular experience, which I really quite like. So it's not dry or academic per se, it's just it has all the information that you want and all the kind of sociological, psychological stuff, but alongside someone's personal experiences. And and I think that's how we best relate to people as humans, isn't it? Through personal experience. So as I say, I've just started. I'm on chapter 1 at the moment, going into chapter 2 very shortly. So that's going to be my Tuesday reading, and let's see how long I manage to keep going for. See you soon. And welcome back, although you haven't gone anywhere. And to be honest, neither have I. Well, I've nipped to the toilet, but that's by the by. So it's now 6 o'clock. There I am in the telly. Hey. It's now 6 o'clock and I'm still roughly in the same position. I've lost the blanket. So I don't fall asleep, although I have napped, and I am still reading, and I am up to page 108 of the book you saw me reading. So this is part 3, Others. So far I'm really enjoying this. We've had sort of chapters on lots of stuff about intersectionality with disabled people and asexuality, and also the differences in sexualities and gender. And this section that I'm going into now is about, as I say, I think this is the last section of the book. Oh yeah, there it is. This is about romance, so romantic relationships that do not involve sexual attraction or act, whichever, both. So yeah, really enjoying this, and it's really nice as well to have this kind of time on a weekday, because I'm not like at work at the moment. I am working, but I'm not at work, so being able to have this time off just to spend with my books, which, as you know, are my good pals, is lovely. And it sort of got me thinking about how, oftentimes we feel like when we're not doing something that's related to our job specifically or something, that we often feel like we're being unproductive or something. So it feels really nice to give ourselves permission to exist and explore our Interests, hobbies, non-monetized acts, I guess is the best way to describe it. And for that to be fine and okay and absolutely an integral part of our lives. That being said, this is feeding into a lot of my thinking at the moment. I'm a little spoiler here for you. So I'm working on a new script at the moment, which kind of deals with relationships, or our relationship, and what happens when an aspect of that relationship is redefined by somebody else's identity. That sounds a bit vague, but I suppose what I mean is that one of the partners finds or discovers something new about themselves, and then that alters the dynamic that are between the two romantic partners, or whatever, somewhat ironically, because this section is, as I said, about romance. So, but I mean, although it's not explicitly about asexuality, just change my position there. This book is sort of keeping me focused and thinking around those lines and stuff. So this month's actually been really good for reading in terms of because it's Pride Month, which you may have seen my Pride special. If not, go check that out on my videos. And you know, so I've been kind of almost exclusively reading LGBTQIA plus writers or texts this month, and it's been really, really nice. I think because sometimes, you know, if I'm being honest, I have this thing of not putting too many kind of queer authors on my channel, as though that's the only thing I read. But then I thought, actually, no, that's nonsense, because otherwise what I'm suggesting is that that's an othered experience, or that's an experience that can't be understood or appreciated by other people, as though, you know, sort of the white, cis, straight man story is the universal and everybody else exists in relation to that, and that's not true. So I'm not going to do that silly worry anymore. But it just goes to show you, doesn't it, that even somebody like myself, who deals a lot in my working life with performativity, sexuality, and so on and so forth, often still has these blip moments where I'm like, is this too much, sort of thing. Well, the answer is no, it is not too much. So anyway, yeah. So I think I'm going to read just a little bit longer. As I say, it's just gone 6 o'clock now, and then I'm going to have a bath. So I may take this book, or I may go on to something else. I might listen to my audiobook, I don't know. But yeah, so that's where I'm up to now. So I'll check in with you again soon. Bath time. Little vegan bath bomb going on there. Making little continents in my bath. I hope you can hear this over the water. Yes, it's the fabled bathroom of blogs past. And I've switched things up a bit, and I'm going to have a little read of this, Jen Silverman's We Play Ourselves, which I've been reading for a couple of days now. Oh, hi Feet. Which is a fictionalized account by playwright called Jen Silverman, which is kind of about the extremes we go to for art. It's queer again, and it's just nice, I think, to mix up from a non-fiction to a fiction text, or a heavy text to a less heavy text. Sometimes I'll probably read this for the rest of the day and go back to Ace tomorrow, when I've got a little bit, you know, when maybe my mental energy is ready to appreciate the nuances a bit more. Not that fiction doesn't require just as much mental energy, but you get the idea. Anyway, so a read and a soak. The colours have gone a little bit now, but still gone slate grey, but you know what, that's okay. That is absolutely okay. Okie doke, I'll see you shortly. Ow! So here we are at the end of day 1 of this, my reading week of reading, I don't know. And it's what time is it now? It's about 11:30, I think, at night, that is to say. Still Tuesday, and I am feeling pretty relaxed. Hopefully that nap today didn't mean that I'm gonna have trouble sleeping. So I decided to carry on with We Play Ourselves, which was the book I was reading at bath time. That little bit of fiction. Little bit of fiction. That sounds passive-aggressive, doesn't it? It's very good, actually. And I've sort of been interspersing that with watching some YouTube. There we are. I'm currently watching The Cheap Chick, which is a channel that those vegan guys introduced me to. Feels very strange to be sort of presenting my legs to you, but here they are. If you have a fear of feet, you could probably just look away now. You know, mine in particular do sort of resemble something that came out of the Shire, but hey ho. So yeah, We Play Ourselves. So I'm up to, what am I up to now? Page, focus please, focus please. Okay. 283. So I've got about, I don't know, 37 pages to go or something. Really enjoying this, actually. I don't know if you do this as well. If the closer you kind of get to the end of a book, your kind of reading speeds up a little bit. And it's not necessarily to do with the fact that you just want it done or gone or anything like that. It's more to do with the fact that you kind of feel, I don't know, on top of it. So you kind of want to achieve it. I don't know if that's a healthy thing to think about reading. But then again, everybody's different, aren't they? So whatever we feel, etc., is a totally valid response. So yeah, I sort of give you a brief précis of what this was about, because I suspect that I'm either going to finish this tonight or in the morning, rather than carry on with the asexual book, only because I think I've got more chance of finishing this, because I'm going out tomorrow. More on that tomorrow in that installment. So yeah, this is about a playwright who won this prestigious award. She was in her 30s. She's a little bit younger than me. And wins this award, does a production, and it sort of doesn't go down as well as she wanted. I'm trying not to do spoilers here in case you do want to read it. And then an incident happens where she's basically ostracized from the theatre. That's not a spoiler, by the way. You find that out right at the start. So she moves from New York to LA to kind of hide out on the down low, and she gets involved with this woman who's making a film allegedly about female empowerment, and this kind of sort of like a feminist take on Fight Club, but with real young women. And then what's really, really interesting is that we kind of get into the ethics of making art, and, you know, what's fair game? How can we treat people? What is more important? You know, people are spoiler, it's always people, but but then people are in and of themselves a form of art, are they not? So, you know, all those kind of metaphysical questions anyway. So we got to the bit now where she's kind of gone back home to be with her parents, and she's thinking about life and, you know, what success looks like in art or indeed in life. And, you know, she's had a really good conversation with her mother, which is about starting again and opportunity and chance and so on and so forth. And you know, I think we all, particularly over this past year and a half, all of us who work in the arts have definitely had that kind of, or been having those conversations. It's really easy to feel like a failure, I think, in the arts, but I think the only failure is to not care, maybe, or not try. And I don't mean just in the arts, but I mean in life in general. I think that's the only kind of, apathy is probably the only thing, because I think you can be happy in whatever way you want to be happy, be fulfilled and successful, whatever that looks like, however you want to. There's no hierarchy of that, you know. So love the thing you do, I guess, which sounds a bit bumper stickery, doesn't it? But if you can find joy in that, then I don't think it's ever wasted. So, and this is actually written by a playwright, Jen Silverman, who wrote, I think, 5 Bettys, I think it was called. Let me just check. Yes, Collective Rage are playing 5 Bettys. That was at Southwark Playhouse, which is a lovely kind of Fringe theatre in London, where I saw a couple of things a few years ago. It was great. And I don't know, there's something really nice about reading stuff about the art world from people that are actively participating in it as creators, you know, because there's this kind of shorthand that, not that this is a book for quote unquote specialists, it's not, but there's something about having someone who knows what they're talking about, you know, so they speak to you directly in terms of your own experience. And so yeah, that's really good. And yeah, just doing lots of reflection, not negative reflection in any ways, or not life-changing major decisions reflection, just kind of, again, reflecting on my own practice constantly, I think, which is never a bad thing. And yeah, it's just yeah. wasn't that so descriptive? But yeah, so anyway, I think I'm going to read a little bit more of this and watch a bit more of YouTube. And then I am going to call it a night, and I will either read some more in bed, or what I might do actually is listen to my audiobook for a short while. Sometimes I go to bed with it sort of playing low in the background, and then I have to catch up in the morning. So my current audiobook is Strictly Murder by what's that, Julie Wassmer, who writes the Wistable Pearl series, which I mentioned in my cozy top 5. I think it was top 5 cozy crimes or something. I forget what I've called things, I'm sorry. My top 5 cozy crimes. Don't look at all that mess in the background. I've got a drag day tomorrow, so I've got things out. But yeah, so yeah, I mentioned that in that, and it's a series set in Whitstable in Kent, so it's nice and cozy, which we love. So anyway, I'll wave bye-bye with my foot. I don't know what that is. It's certainly not a wave. But and I'll catch up with you all tomorrow. Bye-bye. Happy Wednesday. So we are here. I am here, and you are vicariously here on the second day of my week in reading, week in books, whatever you want to call it. So it's, what time is it? It's 9:15. It's 9:15. You can tell, I'm not going to lie, because the clock's right there. And as expected, or possibly postulated, I did finish We Play Ourselves last night, and listened to some of my audiobook. So a win for the books. So yeah, and so it was good. It was really, really good. And I don't really have anything further to say than I said last night about We Play Ourselves, other than it really just kind of reinforced to me again a lot of what I think about art and the business of art, in the sense that I always kind of figure it as this, in the sense that the art is always great, not necessarily great in terms of quality, but the art itself as a concept, as an idea, is always great. The business is something else. And I think you know, it's a weird kind of setup between the two. Sorry, I just got distracted there. Someone just sent me a message on Instagram. And so you're getting my knee. Hi, knee. I don't know why I've done this without featuring my face, by the way. Maybe I will feature my face later in the blog, but I don't know. Something about wanting you to see what I see or something, rather than looking at me. I don't know anyway. I'm sure it's all very complicated. You see my milk there in the reflection of the fire. I've just had my first brew of the day, cup of tea, and I am watching some a reading vlog with Olivia Reads a Latte. I'll link her in the description. She does really long vlogs, which I really like. I know some people prefer shorter ones, but I like a nice long one. Anyway, so today I'm hoping to do some good bits and bats of reading. I was in that thing this morning when I was like, I didn't know what to read next, because I think I'm going to leave the Asexuality by Angela Chen. I'm going to leave for the end of the week, only because I am going out today, so I've got things to do. More on that later. So I don't know if you ever get that, when you've got like 2 that you might read, and then you're kind of stuck between the two, so you're not quite sure where you're going to go. But anyway, I decided to dive into this, which you saw in my LGBTQIA+ Pride Month vlogs. It's Fat and Queer, which is an anthology, which so far I'm really enjoying. It's just lots of different contributions from people who are fat and queer and trans, or trans I should say, and it's kind of a mixture of prose, memoir, remembrance, poems and stuff like that. So I'm going to do a little dive into that. It's weird actually, because with it being an anthology, you almost feel like you could just read them in whatever order you wanted, which I don't know, for some reason that makes me a little bit anxious that I'm going to miss something. So at the moment I'm reading it in order and I'm enjoying it. And the thing with vignettes is as well that you do sort of feel like you can kind of chapter them, as it were. So like, oh, I have this long to read this, but yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna do that, and I'll probably take this with me tonight because Miasma is off to Gemini's tonight, as they are filming a new episode of Frock the Fortnight tomorrow, which is Thursday. So this will probably be coming with me for a little bit of late night reading, but that's where I am right at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to now go and make some coffee. I know I'm cheating on tea. What am I like? Ooh. And answer your YouTube comments on my last video. So I'll check in with you soon. Bye bye. So I realised that with going to Mama Gemini's today, of which more later, that I'm probably not going to get much physical reading done. So forgive me out of breath. I've been jigging about. Calisthenics, darling, calisthenics. And yeah, so I'm going to, I think, do some more stretching now, and I'm going to listen to my audiobook while I do that. So read a little different way. Read a different way a little. Some construction of that sentence. You get the idea. Also, come on, flip-flops, aren't they cute? Oh, pointing towards the door as well, because, well, sort of, because apparently that's good feng shui. So that you're going somewhere in life, apparently the direction. So there we go. Audiobook time. Hey there, sports fans! It's Thursday. Feels a bit weird. This I could just flip it to look at me through the camera, couldn't I? But I'm not going to do that because I'm arty. But also, I have just got back from Mama Gemini's, where we've been filming a new episode of Frock the Fortnight with Gemini and Miasma. So I was there obviously to chaperone Miasma to make sure she don't get into too much mischief, and you know that's a definite possibility with her. So I've come home, unpacked and so on and so forth. Really good episode this week, actually. The girls were talking a lot about it's kind of pop culture stuff and fun and frolics and so on and so forth, but also some stuff about, you know, homophobia, transphobia, this latest debacle with the UK with Russia and so on and so forth. I say latest debacle, I don't mean to make light of it. What I mean to say is, it's just at this stage, would anything surprise me anymore? Not really. Not so much. But yeah, it was a really fun episode, and I've come back now. Here I am. Hi, different shoes on, and I have book mail. Yay! So let's see what I got today as I arrived home. I also got moisturizer, but I'm guessing you don't want to see that. Although you might. So here's what came for me today. This is a book. Oh, actually, I'll start here because it makes more sense. This is a book called Paint by Colin Brooks, which is an LGBTQIA book about, well, I'll show you the blurb there. about a guy called Tucker Peterson who moves to attend college in Orlando, but he still hasn't told his family he's gay. He must learn to balance his newfound freedom with school and a job. And I think there's some drag stuff in there as well, which is lovely. And that's the author, Colin, who I follow on Twitter. And I saw this was coming out, and it kind of gave me vibes of, with the kind of allusion to drag on the front cover, it gave me, put me in mind of George Lester's Boy Queen, which I talked about, I think, well over a year ago. So, looking forward to that. I think they've done it as a sort of, I don't know what publishing company this is, but, you know, it's, do you know what I mean? You can tell it's sort of printed differently than like standard UK books. So it might be an American edition, which is very cool. I'm looking forward to that. The next one is, this I did in I think this was in one of my original 21 for 21 new releases. This is Nancy Tucker, The First Day of Spring, which came out today when I'm filming this. This was a pre-order. And this is about, well, I'll show you the blurb, shall I? That's probably easiest, isn't it? Chrissy knows how to steal sweets from the shop without getting caught. The best hiding place for hide and seek and the perfect wall for handstands. But now she has a new secret. She doesn't get to feel power like this at home. 15 years later, Julia is trying to mother her 5-year-old daughter. She's always worried about affording food and school shoes. Mostly she worries that social services are about to take Molly away. Then when the phone calls begin, which Julia is too afraid to answer because it's clear the caller knows the truth about what happened all those years ago. And it's time to face the truth. Are forgiveness and redemption ever possible for someone who's killed? Which makes me think that Julia and Chrissy might be the same person. That's not a spoiler because I don't know. Is this a debut novel? No, it's not a debut novel. It's her first work of fiction, this author, Nancy Tucker, who recently graduated from Oxford. So I'm looking forward to that. I like the orange as well. It's really cool. And then finally, this is one that I found kind of vicariously through my current read, Fat and Queer, of which more later. This is Ordinary Girls by Blair Thornburgh, which I believe is a contemporary retelling of the Sense and Sensibility. There we go. I'll give you a little shot of the blurb there. Two sisters as different as Plum and Ginny getting on each other's nerves is par for the course. But when the family's finances hit a snag, chaos erupts through their house and the two drift apart in a way they never have before. Sounds interesting, and I really love, obviously, anything Jane Austen, so, and I think the cover's gorgeous as well. But the reason it's related to Fat and Queer is because one of the writers of one of the pieces I duly followed on Instagram, and they were looking forward very much to this book. So I thought, you know what? Looks great, sounds interesting, love Jane Austen, we'll go there. So that's my book mail today, which is exciting. I love coming home to books. I think there's something so lovely about that, like little presents, aren't they? You know, presents that you gave to yourself, which is fine. So yeah, now I'm back home. I'm going to chill for a little while and do some reading, because obviously I didn't get much chance to do any today with the filming and so on and so forth. Do keep your eyes peeled for that episode of Ladies of Lockdown, which will have been released by the time this comes out. And now I'm going to crack on with a bit more reading from Fat and Queer. I'm up to page 168. This is really, really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. It's a kind of mixture of prose and I want to say fiction, but I don't think much of it is fiction. I think it's predominantly non-fiction or memoir work, but that has been in some ways turned into a fictionalized sort of account, but it's based on like real experiences, own voices and such. So some of the stuff is speaking to me more than others. One of the particular favourites so far has been, I'm not quite sure which one it is. I think it might be The Gender Nonconformity of My Fatness. Is it that correct? Yeah, this is really, really interesting. There's a couple of stuff about, particularly for non-binary and trans bodies in relation to fatness. What I'm finding really interesting is reading about people's conceptions of self and gender through the lens of body size and shape and so on and so forth. I'm quite interested in how appearance talks or speaks to the masculinization or the feminization of the body as it's read versus how somebody understands their own gender identity. So yeah, really looking forward to this. I was really looking forward to this, and I'm not disappointed. It's really interesting. There is some stuff about obviously trauma and stuff, but there's also a lot about empowerment, and I think I've managed to find quite a lot of new people to follow on social media and stuff, and see what they have to say about fatness, fat phobia, ephemophobia, transphobia, but also about the joy, the queer joy that comes from that, in the owning of the body and the owning of the self, and the celebration, which is obviously the flip side to, not quite the direct flip side, but a flip side to oppression, and so on and so forth. So that's what I'm going to do. What time is it now? It's 5:10, and I'm going to have maybe an hour of reading this while I have a little chill. So I will check in with you again shortly. Bye-bye. So hope you can hear me. Here we are in Liverpool, which is where I work, where I'm here for the day, because we are going to see my colleague from work, Luke, in a show at the Everyman tonight. So talking today a bit. Here we are. There's the glorious Liverpool. So we're gonna go for food first, I think, and then probably a little trip to Waterstones. I mean, it'd be rude not to, really, want it to nick a phrase from those vegan guys. So yes, Liverpool. So did a little bit of reading on the train, not much, because we had the cast of Die Hard on the train with us. Not really. That would have been marginally interesting. Just a lot of very loud people. So anyway, yeah. But here we are, and yeah. I need to come up with a better way of signing off these things than just saying see you then. But see you then. Okay, so I'm down at the docks now on my magical mystery tour, no pun intended, of Liverpool, and I realised that really helpfully I forgot to video when I was going to Waterstones, because why wouldn't I go to a bookshop? But I did pick up 2 books. This one, which I spoke about in my most anticipated reads, 21 more for 21, so that's Lisa Taddeo, Animal. And then this was kind of a whim purchase, if you will. This is Max Schaefer. Oh, I've bent the cover already in my bag, that's sad. Max Schaefer, Children of the Sun, which is set in both 1970 and 2003 and deals with racism, sexuality, and the skin culture, which I think could potentially be really interesting. So yeah, I'm just waiting to go to see Luke in the show at 7:30. My receipt's there, so we've just gone for a little casual walk around the dock, and oh look, for Pride Month, oh lovely. And of course it's now raining, because why wouldn't it be raining in this most English of towns? Probably shouldn't say that, should I? But every time I get to this part of Liverpool, I don't often come down here because I don't work down here, but I always want to sing the Liverbirds theme tune, you know, na 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 na. Fascinating bit of insight into my psyche for you there, viewers at home. Okay, so here we are at the Everyman Theatre, about half an hour before Luke's show starts, which we're going to go in and watch. And yeah, this is as dry as I could get myself while giving you a view of the theatre. So there you go, the Everyman, lovely. That's the Metropolitan Cathedral, if you wondered. Looks more like the Russian space station, I know. But yeah, so we're about to go in, so curtain up, light the lights. There we go. There's the poster for the show with all Luke's rave reviews. Yay. Amazing. We're just marvelling at phone cameras here. The depth. The depth. So the show was absolutely fantastic, and we're on the train back now. There's the programme. Really, really interesting study about masculinity and male anger and stuff. Just performed beautifully. So if you do get a chance to see it, because I'm sure it's got a future, do go see it. But yeah, time to go back to La Mancunia or something. Oh, hello, my little literary chickadees. I know you haven't gone anywhere, as I've said before, and it's me that has, but hello nonetheless, because it's a brand new day. It's Saturday afternoon. I was going to say morning then, but why lie? So I slept in today and then got up and did yoga, dropped my brother off at work, and just had a bit of time to sort of reflect on the show from last night at the Everyman. Your Mum, which you saw in the previous clips, and just again to reiterate how much I really enjoyed it and how it really made me I don't want to say think for the first time, because I think that these are issues that we are grappling with as a society, but really sort of reaffirmed those ideas that a lot of us are having around masculinity or traditional gender roles and stuff, and it really sort of made me think a lot about my own kind of gender identity, which you may know about from previous vlogs. So I identify as non-binary, and it really kind of brought that home to me today when I was seeing about ideas around masculinity and just recognizing that I'm like, oh, that isn't me. That's not who I am. Now, whether that's more to do with how masculinity is conceptualized in our society, and it's quite limited still in many ways, or whether that's more to do with a sort of innate sense, I don't know. But really, really fascinating, and always just great to hear someone's own voice experience, particularly when it's someone you know well, fairly well, I should say. Sorry, just come back in there, I pressed the wrong button. So yeah, that was fantastic. A great way to kick off the sort of weekend as well, whatever that means as a concept these days. I also managed to finish while I was on the train. Well, I did the double whammy actually. So I finished Fat and Queer, the anthology I've been reading, which was really great. I won't say too much more on this because I've sort of discussed it as I went through, but really just, again, another way of reaffirming the ideas around like bodies and identity and how they interrelate and speak to one another conceptually and also kind of somatically. So this was lovely. Really do recommend this if you're interested. What I really liked was just kind of smorgasbord, if you will, of ideas, thoughts, experiences, some of which were more adult and graphic, not like excessively so, but then again, why shouldn't they be? There's nothing wrong with speaking about erotica or whatever in relation to people's bodies, because that's a big part of some people's identities. So I really liked that versus the kind of everyday discussions plus the more sort of poetic flights of fancy and stuff, and it was just a really great anthology, so that was lovely. I also finished the audiobook I was listening to, which I was telling you about, Strictly Murder, the latest in the Whitstable Pearl mystery series, which was really great. It was kind of, just to give you a brief précis, so it's set in a dance school in Whitstable with this couple who are like tango professionals, basically, all very strictly come dancing. And there is a murder, quite a brutal murder that takes place at the dance school, and then our heroine, Pearl Nolan, who runs the Whitstable Pearl restaurant and Nolan's detective agency, has to step in to find out, obviously, what's gone on. Kind of standard, and I don't say that in a negative way, cozy fare. I got interested in the series originally because I spent a bit of time in Whitstable when I was on tour with the show years ago, and just thought it was a really beautiful little village. So, I mean, sometimes it's a bit dodgy in terms of I don't mean dodgy, but like in terms of the fact that it is a seafood restaurant that she runs, so we get a lot of stuff about seafood and oysters and stuff, which obviously as a vegan is not ideal, but you know, the story itself is great. So yeah, I'm now in the front room. Obviously, again, you'll be very used to this. I'm wearing my secondary school art teacher pants and a little necklace, which is cute. And my vegan sandals, which those eagle-eyed of you may recognise from the Those Vegan Guys Hebden Bridge vlog, sorry. What else happened yesterday? A couple of great things. Lovely to be in Liverpool, not working. I've got some good news as well. A project that I've been asked to be a part of has got funding, so I got a new performing job, which is great. I won't give too many details because I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say, but that should be happening in September. And I've got some other work related stuff to get done as well. I finished the first draft of the show that I was writing that I mentioned the other day, which is tentatively titled at the moment Loving Hard Bright, and is about a couple and a queer couple who are negotiating again what their relationship means when somebody's identity shifts, or the way that they talk about or recognize themselves changes. What effect does that have on the other partner? And it takes place over a long weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I know that the traditional long weekend is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but I like to be contrary. What can I tell you? So tomorrow I'm getting a new tattoo again to match the one that is on my calf. I'm going to get a new one here, and it's going to be a mer person and a fat mer person in sort of like a sort of pin-up style, just to sort of reaffirm not only the fact that I'm also really fascinated by mer people because of that sort of gender thing, but also in terms of the fact that I think all bodies are beautiful and sexy and have the are not jokes. Nobody's body is a joke. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that's tomorrow. And now I actually just something to read. Do I continue with and probably finish my book on asexuality, or do I go for something else? I'm feeling a bit of crime, so what I might crack into is, because it's still Pride Month, but this is kind of both ways of doing it. This one from Will Harker, who is the alternative name of William Hussey, who wrote The Outrage, which I featured in my Pride Month vlog. And this is a crime novel with a detective constable called Jericho, who I believe is a traveller, or like a fairground family, from a fairground family, and there's as it says here, a series of bizarre murders. And I like that idea. I'm very interested in the idea of circus and fairground and the travelling community. I think that's interesting. So I might crack into this and then finish this maybe tomorrow on Le Train. So we shall see. Oh, one last thing before I go and crack on with some reading. My lovely friend and drag colleague Ivy DeLuca has re-released new copies of her autobiography Tainted Beauty, the memoir of an authentic creation, which is a beautiful story about how Ivy came to terms with who she is and how she created the world as she wanted it to be. And it's just got this beautiful new cover design, which is absolutely lovely. So there's a little bit about the book, and I'll link her website in the description. But that was a lovely treat, and so I was really happy to receive that this morning. All right, my little chickadees, so I shall go and do the hard work of making a little choice as to what I'm going to read, and I will check in with you later. Hi, and good morning. It's Sunday. So I'm doing this sort of weird holding the camera, I should say, into the mirror, because I've got obsessed with this idea of doing this vlog as what I see, as opposed to what you would see if I faced it on myself. And who knows if that was a good idea, but this is what we've gone for. So it's Sunday morning, and I say morning, that's really optimistic. It's actually about 11:45, so I suppose late morning is more accurate. But it is tattoo day. So as I mentioned yesterday in my installment, I'll get my new tattoo today at about 4:30. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'm going to go out earlier first and take my brother to work. So that's nice. Just been sort of reading more of my Asexuality book, which is really, really interesting. I just had a chapter about it's quite hard to explain exactly what things are about. This is not me washing my actual face, by the way. I'm just putting some, like, I'm not that slapdash, just so you're aware. Just sort of had a chapter on talking a lot about what sex and desire mean in terms of looking for feelings. So the idea being that for people, some people, actually what they're searching for is a feeling as opposed to the accomplishment of an act. And I just found that so interesting, like when you boil things down to what we want from interactions, be they sexual or otherwise, and you know, what is really at the root of so-called innate desire. I just find it really, really interesting. I'm really enjoying this month of Pride reading, just in terms of getting to know more the various subsections of the community, but also getting to know myself a little bit more in some ways, if I can say that. So yeah, I think it's been really, really helpful and productive, and I'm stopping feeling, I don't want to say bad, but sort of restrictive about reading only from LGBTQIA authors and about those subjects for the month, because why should I apologize for that, you know? So anyway, just random thoughts. Also, I have a new audiobook that I started last night, which is called Death Overdue. I forget the author's name, which is really terrible. So it's the first in a series of cozy crime novels set in a haunted library, which I'm absolutely here for. I've only listened to the first chapter now, so we've just sort of got introduced to the heroine or hero of the story, if I can use non-gendered language. Protagonist, let's say, of the story, Cassie, who is has just been promoted to she's a bit of a floater, a bit alternative, and she's just been promoted to event planner, manager, basically, at this library, and she's already encountered a ghost. So I do know there's going to be a murder, so I'm looking forward to that. But I will put in a shot of what the audiobook looks like and update you a little bit more on that later. So I'm hoping to finish the Ace book today. I've got about 20 pages to go, so I'm thinking I'll take that with me on the train and get that finished, which should be cool. And last night I made a start on Killing Jericho, which I showed you in the last installment, which so far is very, very interesting, and is our protagonist is a sort of ex-CID, I think it's CID, no, he's a DC, sorry, officer who is from a traveller background and then got put in prison for beating up someone that had taken him for questioning. And then he's just he's just had an encounter with a stranger who brings a message from someone who's calling himself the Professor, that says basically that some major stuff is going down. So more on that later as well. But it's really good. It's much more brutal and visceral than the author's other works, which I suppose makes sense because they're YA. But yeah, so I should be cracking on with probably both of those today. But I'll put in some info about the audiobook, and I will also show you my tattoo when it's done. So hope you're having a great morning. See you soon. Oh, I'm slightly cheating now because technically, it is the early hours of Monday morning. You see there, it's 12:30 if you don't mind. And here I am at home, obviously, not just in some random stranger's house at 12:30 in the morning, in this economy, in this pandemic. So yeah, today I have been inked. I will have put a photo on, but I'll try and show you there. It's a weird angle, but that is my fact and fabulous Merve, non-binary mermaid person. So yeah, that's pretty much been what today's been about. When I got home, by the time I got home from the tattoo place, I just had a bit of a chill out. What I did do, I mean, I haven't read all that much today, if I'm honest. I've done a fair bit, so I'm on sort of page 122 of Killing Jericho, which I really, really like. It took me a little bit of time to get into it because I sort of, in some ways, I don't think I was sure exactly what was the kind of style, form, so on and so forth, and it sort of went a little bit back and forth in time, but now I'm really, really enjoying it. So we're following the our main character, Scott Jericho, who is, I'm sure I've said all this before, but hey, why not repeat, who is from a traveller background and is a former DC, and he's now become embroiled in this strange mystery about involving Victorian travelling shows and what they used to call the freak show and stuff like that, and a copycat series of deaths basically around that. So I'm really, really enjoying this. I'm probably going to crack on with that tomorrow. What I have done loads of today, in fact, is, oh, you can just see there, I picked this up today. How cute is this? Little Polly Pocket pop vinyl. I never actually had Polly Pockets when I was a kid. I always had Mighty Max, but I always kind of really liked the idea and the aesthetic, and I just thought this was really, really cute. So I had a bit of time to kill before my tattoo, so I got one of those. And yeah, but I've been really, really enjoying my audiobook, the Death Overdue, which is the haunted library cozy mystery, and that's been really good. I would like to point out that none of these are mine. You may have noticed in the background these chocolates and things, because they are not vegan, but none of those are mine. In fact, I don't even think there's actually any food in them. I think they're literally just storage. Maybe not that matchmaker's box, I don't know. Anyway, oh look, my asthma's wigs are there and all sorts. If you wondered, I'm watching the Bold Type as well. I hope I don't get a thingy strike for that. But yeah, no, I'm really, really enjoying the audiobook. I listened to loads of it today, sort of on the journey to the tattoo place and then afterwards as well. So I do apologise for how much leg content there's been in this vlog, but you know, this is how I really live. So yeah, so today's the penultimate day, well-ish, of this vlog. So let's see what the final day brings tomorrow. Good night for now. It's really hard to wave backwards, so that's what that's supposed to be. All right, my loves. See you in the morning. Hello again for possibly the final time, although that sounds a bit, I don't know. And well, I mean, for the final time in this vlog, I should say this is the Monday, so we are at the 7 days of my week in reading. It's 4:10, and I'm just listening to this program that my friend clued me into on Radio 4. Written in Scotland, which is a 4-part series about the relationship that Scotland's writers have with Scotland itself. I do kind of like Radio 4, I must say. Yeah, so that's pretty much my day. I haven't done any reading today. I have been recuperating, post tattooing. Read a little bit of Killing Jericho, but I think today I'm going to catch up on my listening and also on Booktube as well. So yeah, I think that's going to be the plan for today. I'll probably read a little bit tonight when I've had a bath or something like that. Or I may change my mind completely. This is who I am. So yeah, probably going to catch up with some of Charlie's vlogs over at Charles Heathcote. I'll link them below. Who I really enjoy. I don't mind. Sounds strange to say, I like a lot of Booktube content, but there's parts of Booktube that I don't get involved with. Like, I'm not interested in drama, I'm not interested in hype, things like that. I'm interested in people that are just here to talk about books, reading, literature. So I'm quite choosy with the channels that I pick, and Charlie's content is lovely, really personal and very sort of gently lulling, by which I don't mean in any way not exciting. or interesting, because it's great, but it's just, you know, there's no sort of sensationalism, there's no sort of clickbaity video, what's it called, the picture, what are they called? What are they called? You're witnessing me here having an existential moment. What's it called? You know, the sort of screen, the little picture that goes on the video that you click on. I'll remember the word when I've stopped filming, I'm sure. There's none of that. It's just about the content, which is what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in clickbait or anything like that. So yeah, that is what I shall do. I'll probably check in with you once more before the end of this video, but now I'm going to go listen to this on La Radio 4. So, see you soon. So there we have it. As promised, I'm rejoining you for the final time. And you get to see my face again, so hey. If you wonder what I'm wearing, by the way, I know it's backwards, but I'm wearing this t-shirt from Manchester Tom Tees, who is a t-shirt maker, printer, based in Manchester, and just sort of quite iconic t-shirts. This is Noddy and Gary, the first kiss, gay kiss in like a Grove, which is, if you're not in the UK, was a sort of kids, young people's TV show in the 90s on UK TV. So yeah, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed spending this week with me. It's been really interesting actually, in terms of me watching the footage back and going, oh, that's what my reading habits are, and recognizing when I want to read, what I want to read, and how I go about it, and also just a nice way to document the week, you know, a week in the life, as it were, to vastly not even paraphrase, but completely change the intention of the Beatles. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. I'm sorry if this video is really long, but I'm also not sorry, because it's either that or I just edit out a load of stuff that I wanted to say or wanted to include. So feel free to watch it in stages, whatever you like. But I hope you've enjoyed. So I'm off to have a bath now on this Monday evening, and I hope you are all doing great. So leave me a comment below. If you made it this far, you can put a little book or a nose, little book sniff. And thank you as always for spending some time with me and for your continued support. Love you muchly. Keep sniffing those books, put your library card somewhere safe, and I will see you again very soon. Mwah.